I'm Reverend Allie, and today I'm sharing Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. Join me as we dive into who you really are. Come learn how to find out who you really are. Well, I've been having great fun sort of marrying nursery rhymes with my talks. Last week I talked about Humpty Dumpty, falling off the wall and then waiting for all the king's horses and all the king's men to come and save him and put him back together again. And I had a little note for Humpty, they're not coming, that's an inside job, you have to do that yourself. And then I got a chuckle when I thought of Glinda the Good Witch saying, "We have the power, you have the power, you had it all along." And so this week I thought, oh, how can I be clever and think of another fairy tale or a story? And I thought of Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, who's the fairest one of all? And as I started doing my research, I realized that that is not quite right. The Wicked Queen didn't say that. Does anyone know what she did say? It was, instead of mirror, mirror, it was magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them? But don't we all think of it as mirror, mirror? Mm-hmm. We've been conditioned to think that. Who knows why? So, this month, I'm focusing on, well, the theme is Become What You Believe. And all of our talks will be focused on belief. Who we are, who we think we are. And maybe you've never even thought of that. You mean, I'm not just me? I'm something that I thought up? We're going to explore that. How are our thoughts and our beliefs interwoven with who we are, our personality? So, what are beliefs? Beliefs are merely thoughts that we think over and over again. Beliefs are thoughts we think over and over again. So you're probably thinking, where did I come up with my beliefs? Where did you come up with your beliefs? How did your personality form into who you think you are? Well, it came from our families and our teachers and our friends. It came from the television and from magazines and comic books and stories. We gathered a lot of information along the way to put together an identity, a personality. And many of us haven't given it much thought. If you're in this room, I'm sure that you have. I'm sure you've given it considerable thought. It seems like many of us have a personality that we've developed over the course of our life. And in the morning years of our life, we tend to be distracted with learning, with going to school, with our families, with hormones. A lot of things get in the way of really thinking about who we are, and we're just out there in the world being busy and gathering more information and choosing who we are. We're gaining the labels. We go to school to get credentials, and we get married and we become a husband or a wife. We have children, we become a father or a mother. So we begin to sort of identify ourselves with who we've become based on what we've given our attention to. And then many of us get to a place where that kind of calms down. We're not learning as much. We're not in that world of interaction with other people as much, maybe. And we're spending more time alone. And maybe there's more time to think about, who am I? And do I like who I am? Am I enjoying myself? Am I enjoying who I am? And many people come to a phase in our late 30s, 40s, 50s, some call it a midlife crisis, when we're having a sort of an identity crisis and we begin to maybe look at some of the areas of our life that we're not so happy with. And maybe in an attempt to soothe the discomfort of some of those realizations, we get involved with things that distract us. Maybe we go on a spiritual journey, and then that becomes our identity. Or maybe we buy a new sports car, and that becomes our identity. There's lots of ways we can distract ourselves from really looking at that deeper question, who am I? Or rather, who do I want to be? Because we're always at choice. We're always at choice. So, who are you today? Maybe it's slightly different than who you were last year. That's the good news. And it might be different than who you will be next year, this time. So it begs the question, are you happy to remain as who you are? Would you be satisfied and happy a year from now if nothing changed? Some people nodding, some people shaking their head. I remember my coach said that to me when she was hooking me in, drawing me into the coaching program. She said, well, if everything's great, if everything's going well, and I thought, no, it's not going so well. Well, would you be happy a year from now if nothing changed? I'm in, sign me up. Because I wasn't happy with where I was, and I don't think we're ever quite fully content. Seems to be a part of this human condition. We focus a lot on what's wrong. I love what Dr. Pam's reading today. We seem to focus more on what's wrong or what's not working or what we don't like about ourselves or what we don't like about other people or what's wrong with the world, and less on what is working, what we do like. So really your reading today was the whole talk. We really have the choice of focusing on what we want or what we don't want. So what are you focusing on? So, mirror, mirror on the wall. It's funny, I look at the idea of a mirror in two ways. In one respect, I think, we look out there into the world for our validation. We go to the mirror of life and say, am I the fairest one of all? And if we're expecting a friendly answer, I wouldn't go to that mirror, because you may not hear what you want to hear. Because if you're looking outside of yourself for those answers, then it's evident that you don't know who you really are. Because it's an inside job, you have to develop the peace, the love, the beauty, the companionship within yourself first. And then the universe mirrors that back. Then the universe mirrors that back. And then I think of the idea of the universe as a mirror, and I found this from Dr. Greg Braden. Oh, first of all, I have something from Dr. Ernest Holmes. Dr. Ernest Holmes says, life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what they think into it. We're surrounded by this law, this mirror, the law of mind, Dr. Ernest Holmes calls it. The law is a law of reflection. For life is a mirror reflecting to us as conditions, the images of our thinking. Whatever one tends to think, whatever one thinks tends to take form and become a part of their experience. You've heard me say you cannot hide from your secret thoughts because they show up as your life. So now on with Dr. Greg Braden. He says, almost universally, ancient texts and spiritual traditions suggests that everything in our world is connected in ways perhaps we are only beginning to understand. This subtle field of energy is in fact described by Western scientists as a net or a web that creates the underlying fabric of all creation. This field of energy has been here from the very beginning. It is an intelligent field, an intelligence that responds deeply to human emotion. I love that he says emotion and not thought. There's a key there, because the universe responds to our thoughts, but it responds even more acutely to our emotions. We must feel the feeling. He's talking about prayer now. Now, if we're utilizing prayer and we're having this understanding of the universe is reflecting back to us, we're entering into prayer as a dialogue. We're speaking the language that the universe understands. So he says, we must feel the feeling as if the prayer has already been answered. So, what does that mean? Whatever we're seeking, whatever we're wanting to change out there in our life, we have to develop a real feeling that it's already happened. Because the universe, this mirror that responds to our every thought, our every emotion, and our every action, is paying close attention. So we act as if. In that feeling, we are speaking to the forces of creation. We're speaking to the forces of creation. You've heard me say many times, we are co-creators. We are one with the mind of God, as the song says. We're utilizing this wisdom within us to activate this creative process and become co-creators through our thoughts, our feelings, and our emotions. Allowing this field, the quantum hologram, the mind of God, I love the ways he describes this intelligent field as a hologram, very scientific terminology here, a field, this quantum field, the mind of God to respond to us with what it is that we are feeling in our hearts. So what are you feeling in your heart? Are you having heartache today? The universe is listening. It's not to deny that. It's just to notice. Notice. Each moment of our lives is part of a conversation, an ongoing dialogue with the universe around us. What if whatever happened in our lives, from the healing in our bodies, the peace of our world, to our marriages, our families, our romances, our divorces, all the things we see as life in each moment, every day, what if they're a reflection of this intelligence, this field of energy that the ancients describe as nothing more or less than a reflection of what we've become from within ourselves? Our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our beliefs, our prayers. And isn't this so? Isn't what we're seeing out there in the world, all the beauty, all the magnificence, all the heartache, the war, the sorrows, isn't it merely just a reflection of the human mind? This inner turmoil, this inner peace, this inner set of thoughts, beliefs, emotions is displayed outwards into the world, and then it becomes life. We're creating this together. We have an influence over it. These subtle principles, this principle of oneness, remind us that we're part of everything that we see, and we must become the very thing we choose to experience in life. We must become the peace and the healing and the cooperation and the compassion and the nurturing to those that we choose to walk this journey with. It's an inside job. All the king's horses and all the king's men can't put Humpty back together again. We get to put ourselves back into a place that feels good. This is what we do in prayer. Dr. Pam mentioned that we sit with you and pray with you. We pray on these requests that you put into the prayer box. In this way, we're bringing ourselves up into this consciousness of wholeness. We're remembering maybe what you forgot. As practitioners, that's what we do for one another. And we're all practitioners, really. We're all utilizing these principles. We're all remembering, reawakening to who and what we truly are, our true identity, who we really are, beyond our beliefs, our small little beliefs. I'm too old. I'm too scared. I don't have what it takes. That's not you. You're amazing. You're stardust. You have within you everything that is required for a rich, abundant, creative, beautiful, successful, meaningful life. So it takes us being responsible. It takes us being responsible. So you become what you believe. Now, okay. So there's a wonderful teacher, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and several of you are reading his books because I've heard you mention them, and that he's written a couple of books that are just fabulous. One is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, How to Lose Your Mind and Create a New One. It's fabulous. And then his newest book is You Are the Placebo, Making Your Mind Matter. So, in this body of knowledge, he talks about our ability to recreate our brain, our mind, to create a better life. Within our brain, we create neural pathways, well-worn pathways, ruts of belief and thought. And when I asked you at the beginning of the talk, who are you and how did you become who you are and what is your identity, it's based on thoughts that you've thought over and over again that become beliefs. These beliefs can actually be seen by scientists through brain scans, and they see them as these neurons and neural pathways. And so in order to create a different life, we have to create a different brain. And so he teaches us how to change our brain so that our outer appearance, the mirror of life, reflects back to us what we would prefer. Sound good? You'll probably want to read those books. So he gives a great example of how, and this is at the beginning of the You Are the Placebo. So he gives a story of a gentleman named Sam Lundy. He's a retired shoe salesman living outside of St. Louis in the early 1970s, and he began to have difficulty swallowing. He eventually went to see a doctor who discovered that Sam had metastatic esophageal cancer. In those days, that kind of cancer was considered incurable. No one had survived it ever. It was a death sentence, and Sam's doctor delivered the news in an appropriate, somber manner. To give Sam as much time as possible, the doctor recommended surgery to remove the cancerous tissues in the esophagus and the stomach, where the cancer had spread. Trusting the doctor, Sam agreed and had surgery. He came through as well as could be expected, but things soon went from bad to worse. A scan of Sam's liver revealed still more bad news. Extensive cancer throughout the liver's entire left lobe. The doctor told Sam, sadly, at best, he only had months to live. So Sam and his wife, both in their 70s, arranged to move 300 miles to Nashville, where Sam's wife had family. Soon after the move to Tennessee, Lundy was admitted to the hospital and assigned to the internist Clifton Meador. The first time Dr. Neodor walked into Sam's room, he found a small, unshaven man curled up underneath a mound of covers, looking nearly dead. Sam was gruff and uncommunicative, and the nurses explained that he had been like that since his admission a few days before. While Sam had high blood glucose levels due to diabetes, and the rest of his blood chemistry was fairly normal, except for slightly higher levels of liver enzymes, which was to be expected of someone with liver cancer. Further medical examination showed nothing more amiss. A blessing considering the patient's desperate condition under his new doctor's order. Sam begrudgingly received physical therapy, a fortified liquid diet, and lots of nursing care and attention. After a few days, he grew a little stronger and his grumpiness started to subside. The doctor asked Sam, "What do you want me to do for you?" The dying man thought for a while. "I'd like to live through Christmas so I can be with my wife and family," he finally answered. "Just help me make it through Christmas. That's all I want." So his doctor told him he would do his best. By the time Sam was discharged in late October, he was actually in much better shape than when he had arrived. The doctor was surprised but pleased by how well Sam was doing. The doctor saw his patient about once a month after that, and each time Sam looked good. But exactly 1 week after Christmas, on New Year's Day, Sam's wife brought him back into the hospital. The doctor was surprised to find that Sam, again, looked near death. All he could find was a mild fever, a small patch of pneumonia on his lung, although the man didn't seem to be in any respiratory distress. All of Sam's blood tests looked good, and the cultures the doctor ordered for him came back negative for any other disease. His doctor prescribed antibiotics and put Sam on oxygen, hoping for the best. But within 24 hours, Sam was dead. As you might assume, this story is about a typical cancer diagnosis followed by an unfortunate death from a fatal disease, right? Not so. An amazing thing happened when the hospital performed Sam's autopsy. The man's liver was, in fact, not filled with cancer. He had only a very tiny nodule of cancer in its left lobe and another very small spot on his lung. The truth is, neither cancer was big enough to kill him. And in fact, the area around his esophagus, which was where the original cancer was totally free from disease as well. The abnormal liver scan taken at the St. Louis Hospital had apparently yielded a false test positive result. Sam didn't die of esophageal cancer, nor did he die of liver cancer. He also didn't die of a mild case of pneumonia when he had readmitted to the hospital. He died quite simply because everybody in his immediate environment thought he was dying. His doctor in St. Louis thought that Sam was dying. And then his doctor in Nashville thought Sam was dying. Sam's wife and family thought he was dying too. And most important, Sam himself thought he was dying. Is it possible that Sam Lundy died from thought alone? Is it possible that thought is that powerful? So is that possible?
Yes.
Absolutely. So the question is then, it's really why I love these teachings. We can change our thinking and we can change our life. But what we have to understand is that our predominant thoughts, the ones you identify as your conscious mind, and then those maybe unidentified thoughts that exist in your subconscious mind, all of those are becoming the environment in which your cells and your body are living in. We create the environment. And epigenetics and neuroscience is showing us that we don't have to stay in stuck patterns, that we can actually change our genes, change our brain chemistry, simply by the thoughts that we're thinking, consciously and unconsciously. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I'm going to talk more about this in a couple of weeks. Lyle's going to be sharing a talk next week. I'm going to be taking you through a process that Dr. Joe says will help you, if you do it daily, will help you to truly identify, maybe as never before, some of these deep buried thoughts and emotions that are possibly creating an environment, a thought environment, that is causing illness and disease and dis-ease in your body, in your life. Scary? Inspiring. It's a both and thing. It's a both and thing. So I leave you with that thought that you are a powerful co-creator. And maybe this week you spend particular attention to the thoughts that you're thinking. You pay particular attention to the emotions you're feeling. Because you're in charge. You are at choice. And if you keep thinking negative thoughts over and over again, they'll become your beliefs, and then you'll live in an environment that is toxic if those are negative. So be around those positive friends. Read that uplifting material. One of the great ways to shift your energy is listen to music. Listen to positive, inspiring music. You can do that. That's a start. Let's clean up our environment. Let's clean up our environment in more ways than one. Thank you. Namaste. So let's close with a prayer. Closing your eyes and opening your heart. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you today? A whole new you. You get to choose. So let us remember who we really are right now. Let us remember that we are one with the heart of God. We are one with the heart of the universe, this infinite organizing intelligence. We are one with this amazing experience we call life. We are one with it, we are it. We are using this one mind to hear the very words that I'm speaking. We're using this one mind to connect with each other. We are using this one mind as we direct our thoughts and create our environments. So I speak these words today for each one of us in this room, that each of us simply set down the old, worn-out garments of who we once were. We simply set down and shed the skin of sadness and discontent. We let that go. Let's take a deep breath and let it go. And today we stand in our power, strong, peaceful, happy, connected to life and creativity. Today we stand in our strength, courageous, knowing that infinite possibilities abound. Today we open our hearts and have compassion, empathy for those around us. Today we stay focused in our own loving, thoughtful, wonderful environment. Today we speak our truth and manifest our world through the thoughts that we think and the words that we speak. We speak our truth and we activate the miracles and magic that abound. Today we prepare ourselves to be surprised and delighted by things we've not even dreamed of. We just say, yes, I'm available. I'm available to have the eyes to see what I couldn't see until now. Yeah, I'm available to open my ears. I open them now and I hear what I couldn't hear before. I hear what I need in order to become the beautiful, peaceful, wonderful co-creator that I am. It's simple. I'm doing it right now. I'm listening. I'm seeing. I'm becoming who I really am. Mirror, mirror on the wall, I know who I am. I am a divine expression of the Most High. I am a divine expression of love. And I'm here to serve. I'm here to bring it forward. I'm here to bring everything that I am, all the beauty that I am, into every relationship that I have. I'm not holding back any longer. I give myself full permission. I say yes to myself now. I say yes to myself always. I am the one I've been waiting for, and the wait is over. Now is the time. I'm it. That's the power of I am. I am the light I am. And I simply let these words go. They already are so. For this we are blessed. The whole world is blessed. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you. We're creating some powerful energy. We're creating an environment here that is rich and abundant. Know that and just take that out. If you liked this message and would like some more, just click subscribe. Namaste.